Canyon Iceberg setting up for this bottom corner as it's all about taking it as fast as possible as Charlie Tanfield kicks it out of the turn. 100 meters to go now, up towards the line. Can Canyon Iceberg take the lead? 4 riders to count. It's all about trying to get across the line in a blanket finish, and they go to the top of the leaderboard. 2:19.162, the new fastest time. That means that Madison Genesis are still in green, but Canyon Iceberg are now second above the defending champions, JLT Condor. The riders on the start. Beautiful sunny evening here in Stevenage. A fast 1 kilometre circuit always gives us some good racing. Gabby Shaw just moving up, comes through to the front, sweeps, dive bombs her team leader on that bottom corner. Trying to lead out the sprint now for Nikki Juniper, but Anna Henderson here trying to come back to Gabby Shaw. Nikki Juniper trying to come off the wheel of Henderson. Henderson sits down and has a look back, but a great sprint. Evans challenging on the right, very tight on the line in that sprint. So Juniper takes it from Henderson, and Evans gets across the line there in third.
So here we go, another sprint lap for these riders. As we can see, Team Breeze there in the green leaders jersey. Doesn't look like Nikki Juniper's going to be able to get up in this one, but she's got a very nice cushion at the front there.
EJ Harris leading out for Nia Evans. Evans just has a look, goes through the line there. So good lead out there for Story Racing. Again, through that sprint, Nia Evans takes it from EJ Harris. Nikki Juniper for once doesn't score points, but has such a lead in that competition. Laura Massey's up there for Torelli Brother, leading into this final corner and out of the bottom turn. And leading out is Bex Durrell on the front, so last year's winner. But look at Anna Henderson from Team On Form now, straight down the center of the road. Megan Barker challenging as well. Who's going to take this one on the line? And it's Anna Henderson of Team On Form. 2 Tour Series victories back to back. She did it on her own in Aberystwyth, and she wins it here in a sprint. So back-to-back wins for Anna Henderson of Team On Form, this time in a sprint from Lucy Shaw of Trek Drops, and another double round winner, Megan Barker of Team Breeze. They're now 7 points clear of NJC BME Echelon, with Story Racing breathing down their necks in third. Trek Drops, since their return, are now in 6th, having missed a couple of rounds. Still a beautiful night here in Stevenage for the men's race as we head into what is a very busy week of racing. Wembley and Salisbury to come after tonight, and we are off on our neutral lap. Out of the bottom corner, Rob Scott and Matt Gibson have been battling it out for the Iceberg points competition throughout this one. Gibson moves across to the extreme left of your picture. Connor Swift is the Madison Genesis rider in the green, but through the first sprint and maximum points to Gibson. So Gibson from Swift, so Scott gives away 2 points in that sprint.
So will we see Rob Scott being challenged for these points? George Wood knows that he can't go for them. Well, he can sprint for them, but it won't count. Will JLT try and nick these points off of Rob Scott? No, he gets a free ride across the line.
Harry Tanfield, who actually is sitting in third in the Iceberg Sprints competition. He takes a second. So Robert Scott now moves 3 points ahead of Matt Gibson on the racing tonight. So good points scored for the Wiggins man. Our chase group, who aren't really chasing on the back straight here, and nasty crash for Matt Gibson. Our Iceberg sprint leader is down heavily into the barriers.
One of the Spirit Tifosi riders looking over his right shoulder and flick left. Matt Gibson, the unfortunate victim there of that crash, as the leaders coming up now to see Matt Gibson still down, but he's up on his feet, but no chance of getting back in this race. Look at the state of his bike. The front end is absolutely destroyed.
Gibson's up on his feet, but unfortunately he'll take no further part in this evening's racing.
So here we go, running in 100 meters to go to a sprint, and is Rob Scott going to be challenged?
He's not. Rob Scott rides through the line. Richard Handley comes across there in second wheel. Scott takes that, another 5 points for him. Remember, Matt Gibson crashing out tonight, so that means that Robert Scott's going to close the gap to the leader. So it's going to be back-to-back wins here for Harry Tanfield. What a season this man is having. And more importantly for Canyon Iceberg, this should really take them to the top of the standings. Harry Tanfield nearly 30 seconds clear of the rest, with Robert Scott of Team Wiggins bringing home the break to take second, just ahead of George Wood of Richardson Trek. The lead, though, is the slenderest of margins from Madison Genesis and JLT Condor. It's the first time since 2015 that one of these teams hasn't worn the leaders' jerseys.